Beauty is supposed to make you feel good, but what if the products that you're using are secretly harming you? In this video, we're going to uncover the ugly truth behind toxic beauty products, but share essential tips in how you can keep your beauty routine safe and healthy. Stay tuned. Well, welcome to today's episode of the Holistic Healing Network, where I provide health and wellness education relating to the mind, body, spirituality, and relationships. I'm your host, Leah Petrucci. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and a holistic health and lifestyle coach. Today's episode, we are talking about toxic beauty products. This is video number 4 in the series of 10 things that you didn't know were toxic to your health. So let's dive in. So maybe you did know that a lot of beauty products out there aren't the best, but perhaps you don't know what ingredients to avoid. And that's what I hope to shed some light on in today's video. So here is a list of common ingredients that are in beauty products that you need to look out for. All right, so let's go. So here's just a few examples. There's a lot more, but these are just common examples of products, ingredients that are put in our beauty products and that you really need to use in very low moderation or not at all. The first one is aluminum. Aluminum is a heavy metal. This is an example of a highly toxic ingredient that you really should not have in your beauty products. I actually have a separate video on heavy metals, so stay tuned for that, where I'm going to go into more detail about aluminum. Yes, and I'm talking about the aluminum that we use in foil and in our cookware and things like that. But it also can be in our beauty products. The next one is called BHA and BHT. These are common abbreviations that you will see on labels. It's a good idea to turn the product over and read the label. I know sometimes they can be really hard to see and make it really difficult to read the label. This is where a couple things come in handy. Bring a handheld magnifying glass with you when you shop. They come in handy. Or oftentimes choose to shop online, where you can click on the ingredients and blow up the ingredient list. It's really going to benefit your health to be aware of what products you are buying. All right. The next one is FD&C food coloring. Red, blue, yellow, etc. If you see any list of colors like this, and it starts with either FD&C, or perhaps it says a number like number 5, blue number 5, yellow number whatever. These are highly toxic food colorings, and they don't belong in our beauty products. They don't belong in our food either. So this is a good thing to look out for when you're also shopping for groceries. The next one is formaldehyde. So the most common use of formaldehyde is, yep, you guessed it. This is what morticians use to preserve bodies when they prepare them for funerals. So you can imagine if a chemical as strong as formaldehyde preserves human bodies, can you imagine what it would do to our skin? I don't want to take that chance. So if you see formaldehyde on any labels, skip it. The next highly toxic ingredient is fragrance or parfum. This is so common when put in beauty products, even things like candles, which are highly toxic, air fresheners, and I did talk a little bit about that in my video about cleaning products. So if you missed that, I'll put a link up in the corner so you can go and reference that video. But fragrances are highly toxic. They may smell good. Actually, to me, fragrance doesn't smell good. It makes me nauseous. It gives me headache. When I walk past an aisle at the grocery store with products that have fragrance. When I walk past the Bath and Body Works store in the mall, I have to cover my nose. I get nauseous. My eyes start watering because all of those products are laced with this one ingredient called fragrance and parfum. What's really in this ingredient is up to 4,000 unidentified chemicals that the FDA is not required to disclose. So they simply put fragrance and parfum when it really could be a number of toxic chemicals. So it's in your best interest to go through your makeup, see how many of your products have this ingredient. Now, some of them, it might have a little asterisk beside the ingredient that says fragrance, and it might say a little bit below that it comes from an organic source, or it comes from an essential oil or a natural source. I'm sometimes a little bit leery about that, but it really just depends. I will do my research and I'll get into how you can do that in just a moment. But you make the choice if you're okay with an organic source or not. Really, what that means is organic just means that there's little use of pesticides, little to no use of pesticides. I prefer to just buy products that don't have fragrance at all, but you make your own decision. Okay, the next ingredient to avoid is mineral oil and petroleum jelly. A lot of times these go together. And yes, petroleum jelly, Vaseline. I used to use Vaseline to take my eye makeup off. Let me give you a really amazing tip. I used to use it to take my makeup off, to take my eye makeup off. A much better option would be to just get some organic coconut oil. Works like a charm. And I love the smell of it. It takes off eye makeup. It takes off makeup. It's moisturizing. It's such a great substitution. Easy peasy. The next ingredient to avoid is paraffin wax or paraffin oil. Now, those of you who like to go to the nail salon, and I'm one of those, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment, you get those hand paraffin wax treatments that feel oh so good, and they smell nice. They're really not good for you. They're not good for your health. And they're full of toxic ingredients. And especially when you sit there and you have those hand gloves and it just soaks in and seeps into your skin. So my suggestion would be to skip the paraffin part of your manicure or pedicure. Okay, the next one is parabens, either methylparabens, propylparabens, butyl, or ethyl. For example, methylparabens is commonly used in skincare products, beauty products, even like muscle creams like Asper cream and things like that. Parabens are endocrine disruptors. What that means is they throw off the balance of your hormones, causing an array of issues with our metabolism, with our mood, with our energy, causing things like fatigue, brain fog, imbalance for ladies, reproductive hormone issues. So it's best to skip products that have parabens. Okay, the next ingredient to avoid is polyethylene glycol or propylene glycol. For those of you who are vapors you use a vape pen, this is a common ingredient that they put in the nicotine liquid. I used to be a vapor. I used to be a smoker, actually. I smoked for 20 years. Ugh, terrible. Best thing I could have done for my health was to quit. But I switched for a while to smoking a vape pen. Thought it was safer. But I was very wrong about that. There are so many heavy metals and things like this ingredient here, propylene glycol, that they put in the nicotine liquid, highly toxic. Best thing that you can do for your health is to quit smoking. And trust me, I know how hard it is. I've been through it. I will at some point do a video to help those of you who are smokers who need to quit. So stay tuned for that. All right. The next very common ingredient to avoid in beauty products and food as well is phthalates, or BPA, which stands for nope, can't say it. BPA for short. This is highly used in cans, aluminum cans, or water bottles, but it is also used in beauty products. Phthalates are highly toxic, cause an array of issues, and even can be carcinogenic, immunotoxic, which means it's toxic to the immune system. So for those of you who have autoimmune disorders, things with phthalates in them or BPA just cause more problems. A lot of products say BPA free, but it just depends on what that product is and if it really does mean BPA free. For example, plastic that is BPA free is still plastic. Microplastics has its own set of harmful side effects to the body. That's a whole nother episode to go into plastics. But it would be in your best interest to avoid anything with phthalates or BPA. Okay, the next ingredient is sodium hydroxide. I don't really have a lot of information on this chemical. I just know it's on the list of cosmetics to avoid. I was given a wallet card by someone that I follow, a detox expert that knows a lot about toxins. And I was given this little wallet card with a list of cosmetic ingredients to avoid. And that is one of the ingredients on the list. The next ingredient is sodium lauryl sulfate. And this is an ingredient that is commonly found in things like shampoo, body wash, or sometimes different variants of this chemical. So if you can find a shampoo that says no SLS, that's a good start. You also want to do your further research and make sure there's no other harmful chemicals in there, because oftentimes I've seen products that say no SLS, but then they have other kinds of chemicals in there that really aren't good for your health either. Okay, next one is titanium dioxide. This is a common ingredient in makeup and even things like sunscreen, which sunscreen can be highly, highly toxic. And we're going to go into in a few moments of how to protect yourself from that as well. But titanium dioxide, it's often used in foundations and powders and sunscreens and other products. All right, and then the last one on the list is triclosan. This one I have found in face wash. Again, soaps, even like hand wash, those types of things. So with this big list of ingredients, and that was just a few. Guys. Like there's a huge list of toxins to avoid, but how do you know what products are safe? What do you do? So here is a wonderful resource that I just can't say enough good things about. This is going to be your best friend in helping you make healthier choices in your products. And it is an organization rather, called the Environmental Working Group. And they have an amazing app that is so handy when I go shopping. It is called the EWG Healthy Living app. It's a green app with little swirly white lines. And to have this on your phone when you go to the store and go shopping is a godsend. What you do is, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an example. You can also, if you don't have a smartphone, and yes, there are still some people out there who don't have smartphones, you can go to the website, the Environmental Working Group website, which is www.ewg.org. And I'm going to show you a quick example. I'm going to share my screen. So I am going to show y'all a little bit of a demo, a little bit of a tour inside the EWG website, the Environmental Working Group. With the little logo here on the left side, it's like an E with circles around it. And that's what I think the app looks like as well. But this is the website. This is the main page. And there's a couple of tabs up here. You have the Skin Deep database. That's what we're going to go right now. You also have the tap water database. That's what I talked about in the first video of this series, which I would be glad to link to. If you missed that video on tap water, you can actually go into the tap water database and look up what your tap water looks like in your zip code. But we're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do now is the Skin Deep database, which is the beauty products database. And I'm just going to show you a couple things. But before we're going to look up an example of some products. But before we do that, I'm going to explain a little bit about, the scoring and how the EWG rates their products. So I'm going to click on this link right here that says Discover EWG Verified, because that's what we really want. Is we want to find products that have been EWG verified and who have this green stamp of approval, a mark you can trust. It's been heavily researched and evaluated and given the stamp of approval. And here are the guidelines of how a product can get the stamp of approval. The product has to avoid EWG's ingredients of concern. So it can't have any of the ingredients that are on their unacceptable list, meaning ingredients with any health, toxicity, or contamination concerns. So it can't have any of that in it. It has to provide full transparency. The product must meet Environmental Working Group standards for ingredient disclosure on the label. They must provide full transparency to the Environmental Working Group, including the fragrance ingredients. So it can't just say like fragrance. It has to list out all of the ingredients that are in that fragrance. And a lot of products don't do that, and they get away with it somehow. And it also has to, in order to get the stamp of approval, it has to use good manufacturing practices. So if companies have that, then they get this mark, the EWG verified mark, which is like best practices. That's what we want to look for. All right, so we're going to go back over to the database, and I'm just going to put in a very popular beauty product brand, which is Maybelline. I'll give you some examples. And it's pulling up 825 different products. We're not going to go over all of those, but I'm just going to pick a couple. See at the top here where I've got my cursor, this is the scale from 1 to 10. So EWG is best. That's the best. If you see that, then you're good. Next best is the green, the 1 or the 2. And then when we're getting into the yellow, that's, there's some caution going on here. And then when we get into the red, that is the worst. You definitely want to avoid the products with the red. My suggestion would be like, don't use them at all, or only use them, once in a blue moon, maybe on Halloween, maybe on a special occasion for a performance, something like that. And that's it. You don't use these products that have red markings on a regular basis, because that you're really going to run into some health symptoms. All right. And also, if you also want to know a little bit further, you can click on this link right here, how we determine scores, and it gives you a little bit more detail. So you've got low, moderate, and high hazard. And it also tells you a little bit about how much data is available on that product. It'll tell you if it has low availability of data, fair, moderate availability, or really good, robust, high availability, meaning it has a lot of data on that particular product. And okay. And it also goes into concerns about the different ingredients. So it reports on things like cancer. Does it have a risk for cancer? Does it have a risk for developmental and reproductive toxicity? Allergies and immunotoxicity, meaning it's toxic to the immune system. Use restrictions. Are there any restrictions, or is it prohibited in certain cosmetics or even certain geographic areas? Is there any endocrine disruption, disrupting of the body's hormone system? Is it neurotoxic, meaning is it toxic to the brain, which means it's going to be toxic to the body? Does it have any reports of organ system toxicity? Is it interfering with any, organs' abilities to function properly? Is it going to interfere on a biochemical or cellular level, which really points to things like cancer? On the cellular level, when cellular damage starts to occur, you start to get chronic illness. You start to get things like cancer, autoimmune disorders, all kinds of things. And then does it have a persistent and bioaccumulation? What this means is, does it resist the normal breakdown in the environment? Does it build up in wildlife, the food chain, and people? Or does it linger in the body for years or even decades? And then it reports on ecotoxicity. So is it linked to toxicity of wildlife that may include fish, plants, or other wild organisms? Does it cause irritation to the skin, eyes, or lungs? Does it cause any occupational hazards? Is the ingredient linked to hazards for workers on the job? Is it linked to enhanced skin absorption? Some ingredients are more readily absorbed through the skin than others. And then, are there any other contamination concerns? So it really reports on a lot of things, and you're going to see in a moment an example. So let's get to an example. All right, going back to our Maybelline list. So these are listed from, right now I have it listed from best to worst. You can go over here to this little, change the settings in this drop-down menu. You can, I have it on best to worst. So it's starting with the ones. You can see there are no products by Maybelline that are EWG verified, or that would have shown up first when I have them organized from best to worst. So there are some that are, decent. And let's take an example. Let's take this Tattoo Studio pen here and just look inside of it. So the data is limited on this particular product, but the data that is available is there's a moderate link to cancer, moderate use restrictions, and low allergies, immunotoxicity, and low development and reproductive toxicity. And then it goes into more detail about the ingredients themselves and what those are linked to. So as you can see, nothing too alarming except this top one here in the yellow, the dimethicone. That is the ingredient of most concern. And if you want more information on that particular ingredient, you can click on it. And it opens up. It tells you what is it, what does it do, and what are the concerns right here. Use restrictions, moderate, persistence and bioaccumulation high, non-reproductive organ toxicity moderate, et cetera, et cetera. You can read all of that. So this one looks like a decent product. It's got a 1. For me, I don't know. I would probably be concerned with this the dimethicone ingredient, but that's just me. You make your own choices of what you're willing to use. All right, so let's go back to the list, and now we're going to switch it up, and we're going to change this to sort to worst to best. So it's going to give us the worst products at the top. So as you can see here, here's quite a few products that got an 8 rating, 7s, etc. And there's more pages, but let's just take one of these. So let's take this liquid foundation that got an 8, which is in the red zone, 2 away from the worst score. Why? Because apparently low link to cancer, however, high links to allergies and immunotoxicity. So this particular product is toxic to the immune system. So for you people who have autoimmune disorders or cancer or get sick a lot, or, even if you don't have any of these things, you don't want your immune system to be threatened, because then you're going to be at risk for getting diseases and viruses like COVID, for example. There's also a high risk of developmental and reproductive toxicity. So ladies who are having reproductive issues, issues with your menstrual cycle, hormonal issues. Maybe you're trying to get pregnant and you just can't get pregnant. This could be a possible reason why. We don't really think about these types of things. All right, so let's take a look at some of the ingredients here. So we've got some yellow ones in the yellow here. We've got some in the green. Got some more in the yellow. Up here's methylparaben. I remember I talked about that earlier in the video as a caution. Any parabens, and here's another one. Propylparaben got a 9 rating. Let's look into that one a little bit more. And this is the perfume that I was talking about. This is one of the possible ingredients in the fragrance and parfum that I was talking about earlier. This is one of the sometimes undisclosed ingredients. So here are the concerns. Moderate concern for allergies and immunotoxicity, endocrine disruption. Those are pretty alarming things there. Then down here we got the fragrance, which I talked about earlier as well, and that got an 8. Let's see. All right, concerns: high allergies, immunotoxicity, endocrine disruption, and irritation to the skin, eyes, and lungs, and also toxic to the non-reproductive organ systems. So just not a good product to choose. And then you go, going down, you got more parabens. This one got a 10. Isobutylparaben got a 10. And this one here, butylparaben. Okay, yep. Really high reason for concern here. And looks like there's a lot of information on this particular product. See, it's here, it says data availability robust, meaning there's a lot of data available on this particular ingredient. So this is an ingredient that I would choose to skip, and I would highly recommend you do the same. But you can see how handy this tool can be for you when you go shopping, or even, beforehand or when you're shopping. Of course, you would have to use your phone. You would have to have the app downloaded, but it's really user friendly. And you can also search for a particular ingredient by putting it in the search field and searching for it. It's so amazing. Look at this list: face and body and hair products, makeup, more. They talk about baby products, nail care, men care. They even talk about mattresses, oral care, toothpastes, and things like that. They even talk about laundry detergent. So many things here that this tool can be your best friend when it comes to making smart shopping choices, and can hopefully improve your health as well. So, long story short, the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, is going to be your best friend when you are shopping for healthy, not just healthy beauty products, but also food, cleaning products, water, your tap water. They have a tap water database. I did a video earlier. Video number 1 in this series is all about tap water. I'll put a link in the corner there so you can go back and watch that video. I talked to you about how you can go to the EWG's website and look up your zip code to see what is in your city's tap water. Okay, so switching gears a little bit. One thing that I mentioned when I was giving the list of toxic products, for those of you who love to get your hair done, get your nails done, go and get spray tans, which, by the way, spray tans, I am so sorry to burst y'all's bubbles, but spray tans are full of chemicals. Unless you can find a non-toxic spray tan, I would highly urge you to reconsider your spray tanning regimen. Lots of beauty regimens out there are highly toxic. One thing I'm going to talk about now is the nails. And yes, y'all see that I have my nails done. I do go to a nail salon. I recently started going to get my nails done for a couple of reasons. One, because I am a nail biter, and I have been a nail biter since I was a child. And I literally, when I get anxious and stressed, I will bite the cuticle down to the quick until I bleed. And I have tried everything that I can think of, even like using this nail polish that tastes really bad. And I just ate right through it. Nothing was working, and it was causing me a lot of pain. My fingers were getting infected. And so I thought maybe it might be the lesser of evils if I went to get my nails done, if I chose an organic salon where they used less toxic products. I am very aware that it's probably not the greatest thing to do as far as toxins. So this is where I'm going to ask for help from y'all. I would love to know. I have limited knowledge about non-toxic nail products. So I would love to know from y'all if y'all have any experience with non-toxic or less toxic nail products, nail polish, even like nail salons that you love to go to, things of that nature. So please, if you have any information about that, put it in the comments. Let's get this conversation started. There's a few nail companies that I Googled before I hopped on, and I found I Googled non-toxic nail products or nail polish, and there were a few companies that came up, but I know nothing about them. And I really do like to research and find out more. And I love to learn from people who have experience and who have positive feedback. So if that's you and you have some information about non-toxic nail products, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Talking more about beauty regimens, another toxic beauty regimen is hair, getting our hair colored, getting our hair done. And I did for a long time. I would go to the salon and I would get my, my grays covered, and I would get my my highlights. And most recently, I found out about an organic hair salon in my area. If you live locally in either Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, or Bradenton, Florida, you can hit up the True Organic Salon. It is, of course, more expensive, but that is what you pay for higher quality, non-toxic products and peace of mind. For me, it really was helpful because when I was going to a salon, a regular salon, and staying there for hours at a time, I would always leave with a migraine, eyes watering, and I would continue to just smell the chemicals on my hair. So I decided to try to go to an organic hair salon, pay a little bit more. I only go once a year to get my hair colored. And I just, deal with the grays, other times. I go once a year, I get my hair colored, and I go to an organic salon, and I have no issues. I don't leave with a migraine. I don't, I'm not, smelling the chemicals after, weeks and months after I'm getting my hair done. And the salon itself doesn't, have that heavy chemical smell. So that's another option, is to find organic hair coloring products or, non-toxic hair products to either do it yourself or to go to an organic hair salon. And again, I would love information for those of you who are watching who have products that you love that are non-toxic. I would love it if you would share those in the comments. All right. So now we're going to talk about my favorite non-toxic beauty brands. So, we've talked about what to avoid, but now we need to talk about what to use instead. So that's what we're going to do. So here are some of my favorite non-toxic brands. And like I said before, I really like to do my research. I like to use the products myself. And only then would I feel comfortable in sharing products with my clients and with my audience. So the first company that I have found that I love their products is called Beauty Counter. And they have a mission to avoid hundreds of toxic products on their do not use list. And I have only so far tried a few of their products, but so far I really do love them. And the products that I use, for example, this is one of my favorite foundations by Beauty Counter. It's called Skin Twin. And I love how I'm wearing it right now. I love how light and lightweight it is, but yet it's good coverage. And it just doesn't feel like that caked on feeling. So this is definitely one that I recommend. Another one of my favorite products is their lip gloss, Beauty Counter lip gloss, and I am wearing that color right now. It's a very subtle shimmer. It's got a little bit of a shimmer. It's kind of wearing off a little bit, but in fact, let me reapply, and you can see what it looks like when it's fresh. So see, it's just a very subtle shimmer color. And this very product I found on the Environmental Working Group, and it does have the stamp of approval from the Environmental Working Group. It has the EWG stamp, verified stamp. Makes me feel even more peace of mind that I am using a non-toxic product. So Beauty Counter, and I will put the links below on how you can get to their website and check out their products. All right, the next brand that I absolutely love, I found this one recently, and they are local. They're called House of Hilt. And when I say local, I mean in Florida, where I live. Sarasota, Florida is where their base of operations is. And I actually came across this company at a local health and wellness center. And there were a bunch of vendors there, non-toxic vendors, and they had samples. So I talked with one of the owners of the company, and she let me try some samples. And I ended up leaving with a couple of products, and I'm going to share those with you. I absolutely love the House of Hilt, their Carrot Citrus Cleanser. And their products, they're plant-based. They have no fillers, non-toxic. And by the way, Hilt, House of Hilt, stands for honesty, integrity, loyalty, and trust. So the founders of this organization are really also on a mission to provide non-toxic products. I love this cleanser. I love the way it smells. It's not overpowering. It has like a hint of carrot, but also like a vanilla smell. And it's very creamy. And I like that. They also have other cleansers that are a little bit more soapy, but I really like this creamy, smooth cleanser. So that's what I use on my face morning and night. And then I bought their cherry plum peel, which I use once a week as a peel, as an exfoliant. I love the way it smells. It really does smell like cherry because it is made from cherries. So it's so smooth. I put it on once a week, let it sit, and then my face feels just so smooth. And I love their products so far. So I'll put a link in the description of how you can get your hands on some House of Hilt products. All right, the next company that I love is called doTERRA. So this is an essential oils based company, but they have a line of skincare. They also have a line of cleaning products that I talked about in an earlier video. But the essential oils, there are several essential oils that are really great for the skin. Lavender being one of the main examples. That's a great essential oil for the skin. And you can literally just, take a drop, or if you buy one of their roller balls, this isn't lavender. I'm actually out of lavender right now. But this is an example of one of their roller balls, and it's really easy to use. See that roller ball there? You can literally just kind of quickly roll it on your skin, and it is already mixed with fractionated coconut oil, so that serves as your carrier. So it makes the oil just go on so smooth, and then you just have that lovely fragrance throughout the day. I just love it. And another line of products that they have, face wash, they have shampoo, they have toner. I do have their shampoo, and I do love the shampoo. I really struggled to find a non-toxic shampoo that made my hair feel nice and smooth and silky. But I really do like this one. This is their Protecting Shampoo, Color Safe and Gentle by doTERRA. You see, it's a nice big bottle there that won't break the bank. And I really do like that shampoo by doTERRA. So check out their products, and I will again include a link below and also a coupon code for you to check out some doTERRA products. All right. And then the last company, beauty product wise, that I love is called Queen of the Thrones. So Queen of the Thrones has castor oil products. Castor oil, I have learned, has so many benefits. Main benefits are things like detox for the gut and the liver, balancing of hormones, of the thyroid, but it also has beauty benefits. So I purchase castor oil, and it comes in a nice glass bottle. I love my glass. I don't like plastic. So it comes in, it's organic. Golden castor oil comes in this nice bottle. It also comes in a little travel size. But what you can do with the castor oil is, for beauty regimen, is several things. One is you can put a little bit of castor oil where your wrinkles are, where your dark circles are. You can put some on your eyebrows and your eyelashes. And then it comes with this sleep mask. So you put that on, and then, of course, you put this on and you wear it overnight. You could also put it on without using the mask overnight, but this actually just helps it to seep into the skin a little bit better. So, and it actually comes with a little brush, so you can brush on, the castor oil onto your eyelashes. It helps your eyelashes to grow nice and healthy, helps your eyebrows to grow in. I actually need to, I haven't done my eyebrow regimen in a while. So I definitely need to get on that, because mine need to be filled in a little bit. So you can use castor oil. You can use it for acne. You can use it. It's so moisturizing for the skin. It helps get rid of those wrinkles. Love, love, love castor oil. Another use of castor oil is for the hair. So this is their Dream Hair Mask. And there's actually an entire separate video that I've done on different castor oil products where I talk about, and I actually even demonstrate this hair mask. I will put a link up in the corner there so you can watch the video that I made on all the different castor oil products, including the hair mask. So check that out. I'll put a link in the description with a coupon code if you want to check out any of the castor oil products from Queen of the Thrones. Okay, well, that is about it for the information that I have on toxic beauty products. I thank you so much for joining in. If you like the information that I provide and you would like to take the next step in your self-care journey and your non-toxic living journey, which can be quite overwhelming, and it helps to have the guidance of a coach. One of my functions, I am a licensed mental health counselor, but I'm also a holistic health and lifestyle coach with a focus in toxic elimination. So I would love to work with you. I can work with people who are local. I can go to their home and do a home walkthrough where I can look at the products that you're using for your beauty regimen. I can look at, the food that you're eating. I can look at your environment and help you decide which products are okay to hold on to, maybe to use in moderation, and which ones that you need to toss, and which products would be safer alternatives. I also can provide virtual home walkthroughs one-on-one. So if that interests you, check out my website at leahpetrucci.com, and there you can read more about my mental health counseling if you are a Florida resident, or my health coaching if you live outside of the state of Florida, and schedule a one-on-one free 30-minute consultation with me. This is my bread and butter. This has become such a passion for me because of my years, decades of my own health journey, from chronic pain, from autoimmune disorders, from mold illness, migraines, digestive issues. I've been through cancer. I've been through so many things as far as health issues, and it has become my passion to help others who need a helping hand on their health and wellness journey. So I hope to see you soon. So stay tuned for the next video in this series, which is going to be all about GMOs. If you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, you'll get notified when those videos in this series are released. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll see you soon.